What's up, everybody? You see what I did there? You see what I did there? It's your boy. Wow, that sounded kind of cringe. Oh well, I promise I'll fix up my intros in the future, alright? This will probably not be a very insane type of playthrough with all sorts of optimizations and stuff, but it should be really fun. Now, without further ado, let's hop into it. You gotta love the beautiful attention to detail that these indie games have. Ooh, character creation time. Let's see. What should my name be? Should be something very expressive that shows my personality. Okay, fine. Alright, let's see. Let's look through some farms. You know, I'm just gonna go with the standard one. It's simple enough. Alright, now I need to come up with a farm name. This is very important and will carry on throughout my entire playthrough. I need to choose something that fits me really well and perfectly represent. Okay, that'll work, I guess. Alright, now time to choose my favorite thing. You gotta be kidding me. Oh well, let's see. This is the normal character. I don't really like him. He's too simple. Gotta really spice things up. Gotta show my wonderful originality. Something like this. I totally didn't just change the hair and shirt. I am much more creative than that. I swear I'm not lying to you guys. I promise. Please. Alright, and after that I just chose some pets, but I ended up just going with the basic dog. Nothing too crazy. Now, time for Grandpa's little cutscene. I honestly kind of wonder why you put your bed in the middle of the room, but I'm just not going to question it. And after a black screen of death, it is time to look at me. I'm a slave now, working for Jojako. Yeah, I do not want to be a little cubicle slave. Is that Woody right there? Also, what happened to the Terminated guy? Hey, there's me. Oh man, I look kind of depressed. Oh well. Anywho, let's look at this little letter that Grandpa gave me. It says that I have his old farm, which, like, Grandpa, don't hide those assets from me, man. I need to know what you're doing in your free time. And after thinking about my horrible life, I decided to move to Stardew Valley. And with that, I hop on the bus, and I'm off. And luckily, the town is only half a mile away from the city. Once I get off the bus, I meet up with Robin. Robin's pretty chill. She's the local lumberjack, and she offers to take me to my house, which I gladly accept. Once I get to the house, it's kind of a wreck, if I'm being completely honest. But Robin says that this is the best farm, and I gotta listen to her. After that, I meet up with the mayor, who's an old guy named Lewis. He's pretty normal, but he's also a little weird later on in the playthrough. Lewis introduces me to my house, and looks a little shabby, to say the least. Yeah, that's a better way to put it, Robin. After that, Lewis and Robin talk for a little while, and Lewis ends up going away with Robin, and I'm left to start off day one. After waking up and walking around for a little bit, I decide to grab the parsnip seeds that Lewis has just given me. After I get my amazing gift, I then decide to go check up on the TV, including channels like Living Off the Land. Once I get bored of that, I head outside though. Okay, I guess I live in the jungle now. I then started cleaning up the farm, because, let's be honest, it definitely needs the help. The magic of editing. Ooh boy. After that, I decided to quickly check on my journal before resuming the farm work and just generally trying to clear up the land. After that, I then decided to run off to town, only making a quick stop at the bus to recontemplate whether or not I should go back home. I then ended up at Pierre's, where I first started meeting villagers. When I got back to the land, I decided to prepare it for some potatoes that I bought at Pierre's. There we go. That's perfect. Day 2 had a pretty fun surprise in store for me. It was a letter from the local fisherman Willy, telling me to head down to the beach before 5. I, of course, obliged. But only after watering my plants, of course. I then ran off to the beach to go meet up with Willy. After that, I got my starter fishing rod, the bamboo pole. Nothing else really happened on day 2. I just fished a little bit. Mama says not to talk to strangers? She's right, you know, Vincent. You better never go to my house once I have a basement installed. It was raining pretty hard on day 3, which is lucky, because that means I didn't need to water my crops. I soon checked my mail and saw that Pierre had some backpack upgrades which I desperately need in stock at his shop. Unfortunately, due to it being a Wednesday, Pierre's shop was closed, so I had to wait until later. In order to pass the time, since I had a ton of energy from all the crops that I didn't need to water that day, I decided to just dedicate the entire day to leveling up my fishing skill. That way it would be easier in the future. Midway through the day, my very cramped inventory got a little full, so I decided to sell off all my fish to Willy for a little bit of profit. Not too much, but it's still something. And yeah, that's about it for day 3, just lots of fishing. Day 4 started off with me wasting like half my energy bar on watering my crops. This will be a reoccurring theme throughout the series. And after that, I decided to spend my time river fishing for the rest of the day for a nice little change of pace from the ocean. Once I got bored of river fishing for a while, I decided to head down to Pierre's to check out the backpack upgrade. Of course, I wasn't going to buy it because I had my tools being upgraded and getting an iridium rod as my bigger priorities for my money right now. Also, strawberry seeds, that would be really nice to get. After that, I decided to go run up and check out the community center, but unfortunately it takes a couple days for that to be unlocked. After that, I just did a bunch of really simple things. I moved my fishing spot over to the Linus Mines type of area, just for a change of scenery, you know, and I know that there's some exclusive fish over there. And after that, I just went in and visited Gunther and stopped by Clint's place just to look at all of the things that he had for sale, and also to look at how much the tool upgrades would put me in the hole. Also, a fun little side note here, my first level up of the series happened. It was fishing level 2, and not gonna lie, I think fishing might actually be the first skill that I max out. Day 5 had a pretty good surprise in store for me, and that being a brand new dog. And when I was asked to name it, there was only one option. Alright guys, I'm sorry, the energy limit just hit me. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. If you know, you know, it's an amazing name. It's truly amazing, but I ended up just having to go with the first part of it. Again, I am so sorry that I couldn't do this name justice, but it is what it is. After that nice little encounter and getting a brand new pet, I was able to harvest my first crops of the entire playthrough before checking my mail. Today was the day the mines opened up for me, so after I did the opening sequence where I was able to get my first sword, I know, very special, I head down into mines and I basically just tried to get as far down as I could. I was able to make it all the way to level 5 of the mines until I eventually just decided to give up because I didn't want my energy getting too low. On day 6, I was greeted on my doorstep by Clint, and he gave me the furnace recipe, which is actually pretty handy because I need a lot of the things that the furnace gives me. After my wonderful run-in with Clint, I ran into the village to go get some potato seeds, among other things, and I returned to my farm to plant them. Luckily, I didn't need to water them because it was a rainy day. And I was also able to craft a furnace using the wonderful blueprint that Clint gave me. And I popped some copper in there, and that was day 6 done. I started off day 7 by running over to the community center and finally unlocking it after being scared out of my wits by a junimo, twice actually. And then after that, I decided I'd had enough of the town, So I decided to go venture down into the mines before heading up and finally being able to get into the Adventurers Guild after having already been in the mines. And I just popped into the Adventurers Guild, kind of said hi, figured out what was up, and that was day 7 pretty much done. Day 8 started off pretty great with my potatoes having been grown. I was able to quickly harvest them for some nice quick cash, and then after that I headed off to the Wizard Tower. At the Wizard Tower, I was able to learn the very special language of the junimos after drinking his honestly kind of gross and weird soup, but I'll look past it. After that odd encounter with the wizard, I decided to go run off to Pierre's to buy some parsnip seeds, just to kind of use up all that space on my land that could be used to grow more crops. I then prepared the land to plant them, planted them, and pretty much called it a day. Day 9 was pretty uneventful. I started off the day watering the crops, like always. I then went to just go check up on the achievements menu real fast to see if there was anything I could really quickly snag in these early days. After that, I got kind of bored of sitting around on my farm, so I ran over to the community center to go look at all the bundles that I had to fill up. Once I'd done that, I decided that because I was in the area, might as well do some more fishing at the mountain lake. I didn't really catch anything too out of the ordinary, but it was still good for fishing XP and all that fun stuff. After that, I ran back to the community center just to check the bundles one more time. I know that there's a button in the inventory for this, but I didn't notice that until much later. So for now, you're probably going to see a lot of footage of me running into the community center to go look at whatever's in there. But after that, I pretty much just wrapped things up, called it a day, and headed back to my farm. Day 10 was possibly the most average day of the entire playthrough. I literally just watered my crops, looked around in my menus for a little bit, and then went fishing in the town. Good news is, I did choose a new spot on the bridge right by the museum, so there is at least a little bit of variety there. But that's literally all I did. Overall, day rating is like a solid 6 out of 10. 5 out of 10 is normal, but new locations are always fun. Day 11 was another solidly mediocre day. I woke up, watered my crops, and again, lost like most of my energy from that. Robin also tried sending me a letter that was advertising her amazing house upgrading business, but I'm not the type to be fooled by easy marketing scams. I might upgrade it eventually though, if I ever have a ton of spare gold lying around. After that, I decided to go to the sea to go visit Willy, because I figured he might be kind of lonely living out in that little shack on the beach with Elliot as his only company. But after I went and said hi to him and visited his shop, I just decided to stay on the pier for the rest of the day and do some fishing. Day 12 was a rainy day, which was good for me because that means that I don't need to water my plants. Then again, it isn't like I would have watered anything in the first place because they were all grown. I am so unbelievably happy about this because this was the first real amount of profit that I actually got during the run. So I quickly harvested up all of my crops in the rain, and then after doing a little bit of thinking about what I should do with all of my excess energy that I'm not really used to, I decided that making some progress in the mines would be really helpful, because after all, I'm going to need the things later on in the floors at some point, especially the gold and iron for good sprinklers. So I was able to hit the mines, and I was able to hit floor 10 before I kind of just ran out of time and energy and stuff to keep going. But it was a pretty solid run, good introduction type of thing to the mines, and I feel like I'm equipped to do even more floors. Day 13 was a really good day for me because it was the day of the flower festival of the spring, and I was so excited about this that I literally just stood there right outside of the town entrance until it finally opened up. And then when it did open up, I made a beeline straight for the reason that I was actually so excited for this, which was Pierre's little stand. He was selling strawberry seeds, and strawberries are the most profitable spring crop. So I immediately picked up as many strawberries as I could. After that, I was also able to absolutely dominate all of the little children in the egg hunt, and I feel no shame in this. I am the best. Deal with it, kids. And after that, I was pretty tired, so I headed home, and it was really late when I got back. Unfortunately, I still needed to water these strawberry plants, so I ended up running around in the middle of the night trying to make sure that everything was properly watered. On day 14, I made the impromptu decision that I was too lazy to go to town, so in reality, I kind of just watered the strawberry plants. Again, watering plants is an absolute necessity, and I'm going to do it every single day until I get sprinklers, probably in like the summer or the fall. And then for the rest of the day, I just try to clean up my farm a little bit, get rid of all the random trees growing everywhere, and also some of the stones. I wore through my energy pretty quick this day, so it was a very short day, but I think there was a lot of good work done. Day 15 started like literally all the others. Watering, yay! Alright guys, I swear I'll shut up about watering after this, I promise. But anyway, after I was done watering, I ran over to the community center yet again. I also made a quick pit stop at Clint's on the way back, just to see if I could afford the resources to make a sprinkler once I got the recipe. Then I looked at his prices and I was like, nope, I'm gonna need a mine for those myself. So the mines are now a higher priority than they already were. They're still pretty low in the priority list though. I mean, even fishing goes before them. But I got back to my farm, and with the last little remaining energy I had, I tried to continue the effort from earlier, where I was walking around my farm just trying to cut down trees and stuff, and trying to make the place look a whole lot nicer. Salmon berry season was in full swing on day 16, so I immediately ran into the forest after I watered all my crops. And I picked up as many as I could. I ran by the wizard tower, I ran down by the place where you can get all your farm animals, I ran in places that I didn't even go there in my other playthrough. Like, I didn't know this part of the map existed with these forests. But after that, I just kind of ran back to my farm, and then I immediately ran back there, actually, because I was like, oh, I can do some fishing there. And after I used up pretty much all my energy fishing there, I just called it a night. It was a nice simple day. On day 17, I decided that it was time to do another little wellness check on Willy down by the ocean. Remember kids, always make sure that the elders in your life aren't lonely, because they can get really lonely just kind of sitting there on their own. I don't know why this turned into a PSA suddenly, but good job me teaching people my age how to respect their elders. Teach them how to conform. Alright, now I'm really getting off topic. Yeah, I just fished with Willy the entire day. Day 18 was a pretty rainy day, and against my better judgment, I decided to go fishing instead of going to the mines with all my spare energy. I mean, I guess it can be valid and justifiable when you think about the fact that I was trying to get rainfish, but then again, I didn't really think about getting rainfish at the time. I was kind of just fishing in random locations all over the map. I fished in the rivers, I fished in the oceans, literally anywhere other than my farm that had water that was fishable. So, yeah, I kind of didn't have a plan for this day, just kind of went with the flow. I started off day 19 by running off to the community center to see what I could do as far as the fish tank bundles. After that, I decided that it would probably be best to do some lake fishing, and I ran down to the lake right by the wizard's tower. What I didn't know was that the fish that I needed for that actually only appeared in the mountain lake, which is right by where Linus and the mines are, so I kind of wasted my entire day. I got some decent fish though, and I made some decent profit though, so I'm not like super upset, but it still kind of sucks that I wasted an entire day for something that I wasn't even gonna get done in the first place. Hey, so I was looking over the footage and I realized that I actually did realize my mistake and I did end up running up to the mountaintop lake. And I was actually luckily able to get the Neptune's Glaive, and it's a very powerful sword. I was incredibly lucky to get this. But yeah, so now I have an insanely overpowered sword for like the mines and stuff, which is pretty dope. On day 20, I decided to go run off to Pierre's to buy some parsnip seeds and things, just so I could complete the spring crops bundle. Unfortunately, I was under the assumption that the month was 31 days long and not 28 for some reason. I don't know where that error came up in my mind, but I thought I had a lot more time to do this than I did, so I didn't buy enough parsnip seeds to get the 5 golden parsnips required for the like high quality crops bundle or whatever it's called. And I'm pretty bummed about that now because that means I probably won't be able to finish the community center until year 2. But as long as I optimize in the other 3 seasons, I should be able to get it done really early in year 2. But the thing that sucks is that now I won't have access to the greenhouse over winter, so good luck making any profit then. The first strawberry harvest was in order on day 21. I made a lot of profit, but I decided to not sell them right now, just so I could have a nice fat stack of cash when I sold all of my crops at the very end of the season. I think it'll be a really good boost to have a ton of coins when summer starts. Summer video coming out soon, by the way. And after that, I just went to go fishing. I also leveled up a bunch in the night, including reaching farming level 5, where I ended up choosing the perk that helps with crop profits. I did a whole lot of running around on day 22. I ran over to Willy's to check out the new fishing rod he had in stock, the Iridium rod, which was actually a pretty big goal of mine because I feel like it'll help me out a lot with getting fishing level 10. I also popped by Pierre's to buy some more seeds, and lastly, I visited the little bookshop just to see what was there. Of course, I can't afford any of it right now, but it would be really nice to get that walk speed boost book because my character moves at the speed of a snail right now. But after that, I pretty much just headed home and called it a night. It was a nice rainy day on day 23, and you know what that means? It's mines time. After I ran to the mines, I was able to make it all the way to floor 20 actually, where I decided to just kind of do a little bit of fishing because I needed the ghost fish for the community center. I ended up catching 2 stonefish and 2 ghost fish before I realized that I was getting really late and I decided to head home for the night. On day 24, I attended the flower dance after I watered all my crops. I didn't really get much done there though, because I haven't made any progress with befriending the villagers, and I've instead kind of kept to myself more and focused more on my personal things. So all I really did was just pop in, buy a rare crow, watch all the happy people dance, and just leave. I did do a little bit of foraging and clearing up on my farm though when I got back, because I didn't want to just waste all my energy for that day. Day 25, it was time for another strawberry harvest and another trip to the mines. This time, I was able to make it all the way to floor 30 before I realized that I had to run home. Otherwise, I was probably just going to pass out for the first time in the series. And I really don't want to pass out for as long as I can because I value having money and items in my inventory. Day 26, I decided to go run over to Clint's to upgrade my axe to copper. I don't know why I didn't do these upgrades sooner because they would have been really useful and I just had like 30 copper bars sitting in a chest. I'll fix it during summer though. After that, I popped into the local pub just to see what was going on. I got some drinks, talked to people, it was a good time. And then after that, I just ran home. On day 27, it finally dawned on me just how little time I had left in this season. That didn't stop me from trying to do a last-ditch effort to water my crops and hope that I could maybe get a little harvest out. But I guess no community center in year 1 for me. After all, I can't get the spring crops required until much later, unless they show up in the traveling cart, which I don't even know if that's possible. After that, though, I popped into Lewis's house to use the prize machine, which I guess that came in a recent update because I don't remember that being there when I last played Stardew Valley. But after that, I just ran to the mines and I was able to make it from floor 30 to floor 35. Nothing too crazy, but I did get my first iron drop from one of the little stone golem guys, and that was pretty cool. Day 28 was the last day of spring, and I decided to kind of just enjoy myself on this day. I took my little thumbnail photo among the crops because I need to prove that I'm an expert farmer who's actually able to grow things. And after that, I kind of just ran around town for a while trying to soak up all the fun spring vibes. I also visited Clint to see if I could see how my axe upgrade progress was going, but Clint works at a snail's pace, so it wasn't done yet. But after that, I kind of just sat there and took in all the peace. It was a nice playthrough, and I enjoyed it. And when I finally got home, I realized that I still hadn't sold all my crops from that season. So I put them all in the bin, and I decided that a good way to end off this episode would be to look at how much profit I had made from my strawberries and my spare parsnips that I had grown throughout the season. It turns out I made a lot, which is good. I guess I'll probably put these funds to really good use in the summer episode, which, again, probably coming soon, but I don't know exactly when. And, yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this. I had so much fun putting it together, and I had so much fun recording it. And I hope you had a lot of fun watching it, too. This is, like, my first real video on the channel, so don't expect it to look perfect whatsoever. Please leave some advice for me or what you want to see in the comments. I'm also not going to be doing exclusively Stardew Valley content. I will put a lot of my time and effort into this series, but I might also make another series, maybe with some friends. I might do a Elden Ring co-op thing if you guys want to see that. But yeah, so just leave a comment, make sure to like and subscribe, and it was really fun having you.